Hello guys, thank you so much for clicking on today's video and welcome to my channel. I just wanted to take a second and thank all of the subscribers that I currently have. Honestly, it just blows my mind that you guys want to listen to my videos and I really wanted to thank you. I don't want to get too mushy, but you guys are amazing. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Anyways, I would say that this story is like an emotional roller coaster, but honestly, it's like you're just falling. It gets so bad, but it does have a happy ending, so we do have that. I do hope that you enjoyed the story. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. Anyhow, onto the story. My girlfriend finished college back in January. It's been a long road for her. Medical issues, mental problems, and a change of major meant that her 5-year degree took 7. I graduated college a couple of years ago and have been working ever since. The run-up to her graduation was rough. She was stressed about her thesis and I essentially didn't have a partner for 3 months. I took care of everything at home. I helped her write her assignment, and I'm having a hard time keeping up at work, so I'm working maybe 5 to 10 hours of overtime every week. For her graduation, I pulled out as many stops as I could. Her friends came to surprise her at a COVID-approved distance outside of our window. I made sure champagne was ready and I had to leave the flat for a work thing, but I came back as soon as possible when she had her final defense and got her grade. Which was the top one, of course, since she's brilliant and poured her heart into this. I'd made sure that her work got her flowers, and a lot of her family and friends remembered as well. We lived in a greenhouse for a good few days afterwards as they kept trickling in. Anyway, we then went to pick up sushi of her choosing from her favorite place. Now, for some context, I've been going through a really rough time recently. I've been incredibly stressed, I'm in a new therapy schedule, and I felt very alone for months leading up to that day. On the day, work was particularly brutal. I'd felt like screaming the entire day. When I graduated college, nobody really noticed. My girlfriend did a little thing with some champagne, but that was it. We did go out to eat as well. So, when we sat down for dinner, the immediate excitement of her grade and her finally finishing faded. The last 4 months of emotional void kept creeping up on me. The stress of that particular awful day, and as much as I hate to admit it, a twinge of jealousy that she'd been celebrated so much more than I was. As we were eating dinner, I was fighting back tears. I didn't know what the F had happened to me. She could tell something was up, and I couldn't keep up the facade for too long. I apologized profusely and went to get myself together in the bathroom for a bit. I'll be the first to admit that I wasn't very fun for the rest of the evening. So here's the problem. She's telling me that I ruined her graduation from college. That particular word was used. I've ruined it. She told me a few days later, in tears, that I had to make up for it somehow. I asked her what to do and she said, just do what they do in a movie. Now, she'll pull this line out occasionally. It's an awful line, but I know what she means. She wants an over-the-top gesture, and it's pretty obvious that she wants me to stage a new, fake graduation that I don't F up. But I'll be honest, it's hard. I just don't have the energy to do it. She'll bring it up now and again, and every time she reiterates the same thing. The longer I wait, the more special and perfect it has to be. I don't do well under that kind of pressure. In fact, I hate it pretty intensely. So now, I'm completely demotivated to do it, and I still feel a little betrayed. On one hand, I get that she wanted the day to be all about just her. On the other hand, I feel like I did everything that I'm supposed to. I didn't mean to get upset. I didn't get angry or lash out or forget something or fail to plan something up to code. I just felt really horrible and started crying. And finally, I felt like it was the final day that was all about her on the tail end of our 4 months where my needs, emotional or physical, didn't exist. What the F do I do? How do I talk to her about this in a way that doesn't result in me feeling awful? Hey everyone, thanks for the absolutely overwhelming amount of advice and attention you guys gave me. It was wonderful and admittedly a little terrifying. I talked to my girlfriend last night. It was actually about her birthday, which is today. Some may have seen my dread for that in the comments of the last post. It went down exactly as I'd feared. She asked me how many party supplies and decorations we had. I told her that I reckoned we had enough, and she was upset that I didn't go out and buy more. Just to reiterate, here's my current agenda for the day. Wake up at 6 a.m. to decorate the flat and get breakfast at a baker, including a custom-made cake from her favorite bakery that she likes. Keep in mind that her favorite rolls and favorite cake are in 2 different places, so I'm going 2 places. Have breakfast together. Take her to see a castle that she's wanted to see nearby. Buy her dinner from a place she's been saying that she wants to try. Watch a film with her of her choosing. Let her go early to bed without any grief. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been told that I don't put any effort. See, none of these things count because she's expressed a wish for doing them, or I've asked if she wants them. This means that they're no longer surprises, and therefore not romantic. I'll be honest, that made me pretty livid, and especially so because she brought up the graduation again. I told her that, in fact, I had given it some thought. We can have a day where we spoil her and get her dinner somewhere nice or do something special, but I'm not throwing a new fake graduation, and I'm not accepting the premise that it has to be increasingly bombastic the longer I wait. That didn't go down well. In fact, she got increasingly angry that I didn't understand that I'd ruined the most important day of her life so far. I asked her if all the gestures meant nothing because I got upset, and she said yes. She had to quote-unquote walk on eggshells and couldn't be limitlessly happy, which ruined everything. I told her how hard it was leading up to, and her reaction was to say that I could have waited one more day to get upset then. I told her that I don't feel as I get as much emotional support as I give, and she told me that her emotional support consists of primarily not leaning too much on me. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. What on earth do I do now? This is the weirdest conversation that I've had for a long time. Also, if you'll have me excused, I have to go pick up a cake. I just remembered that this account exists, and I'm happy to come back and report that we broke up in the summer of last year. Perhaps, unsurprisingly, it got pretty ugly pretty fast, with her attempting all sorts of fun, manipulating things like going through my digital receipts, stealing my passport and the registration of my car, and gently implying to our common friends that I hurt her. So that was cool of her. We finished dealing with the last joint assets and the dumb adult stuff back around Christmas, and I haven't seen or heard from her since sometime in January. As for me, I'm doing effing great. I live in a tiny studio that costs a fortune, but my career is going phenomenally. I've met all sorts of great friends, and perhaps most importantly, I recently started dating someone. She's effing amazing, and she makes me feel appreciated in ways I didn't think that could happen. I get it now. I get why other people like relationships. Oh my god, that relationship was bad. I spent a long time after the breakup coming to terms with just how bad it was. I had experiences like a one-night stand that showed more affection than she did. That stuff was wild. As far as I know, she's not doing too great. Life hit her pretty hard once I stopped being there to soften the blows for her. Ironically, she'd always accused me of being a loser that couldn't take care of myself. There's one main reason that I'm back here, I guess. Go back and read my post. If it resonates with you, you deserve better. I want to let anyone know that no matter how deep that sunk cost feels, get out. It stings at first, but out here, you can breathe. So guys, what did you think about this? If you're on the same page as me, I think we can both agree that OP's girlfriend was crazy toxic. Honestly, I want to reiterate what OP said. If any of this resonates with you, you really need to think about whether you want to be in that relationship. Like, for some people, no matter how much you do, it's not enough. And I do think that that's very unhealthy. I really do think OP dodged a bullet, and I'm so glad that he's happy now and thriving. Anyhow, I do hope that you enjoyed the story. If you did, once again, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're interested in more stories from Reddit with updates, please subscribe.